Hello, dear friend. This is Ojas, and today I want to talk to you about motivation, how to stay motivated, or in case you are struggling with being motivated, what the reason for that might be, and how you can get motivated. Now, I have personally struggled with motivation for so many years. I've done a lot of research as well as self reflection on this, and I have got a lot of insights. I have been able to find my motivation, my passion for life. So if you like these kind of topics, I cover a lot about motivation, meaning, shadow work, burnout, things like that. So subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on these videos. Now you're probably watching this video because you may have at some point faced a crisis of motivation. And what does one do when one is feeling unmotivated or not really feeling inspired to take action? What do? You usually watch some YouTube video, maybe somebody talking in a really high energy, something like that. But I want to take a different approach today. I do have some things to share with you, but this video is not going to be informative in nature. This video is going to be experiential. I want to take you into a journey and really make you reflect. So I hope you're prepared for that. So what are some of the symptoms relating to a lack of motivation? One might feel kind of apathetic, that almost feels like being depressed. We might feel lazy or procrastinate doing important things. We might even struggle to wake up in the morning. And sometimes, due to pressures, we do end up showing up to work or going ahead with our projects, but then we face a buildup of stress and eventually have a burnout. And I believe that a burnout is so closely related to motivation. One can never burn out if one feels really motivated, really meaningful about doing what one is doing. So let's explore that in a little more detail. So really, what is the basic reason for being unmotivated? It's very simple. It is meaning, right? So with meaning comes motivation. And I just want to break this down for you. Now, there are two kinds of meanings, and I want to go into detail about each one of them. One is a general meaning of life. This can be a bit existential in nature, really going deep into the fundamental nature of your being. Why are you alive? What does this life, what does this existence mean to you? And it is really important to know what you stand for, what your life is all about, and that gives you a strong sense of grounding, a strong sense of identity, which then helps you to take up any kind of projects in life or even be bothered to live life at all. And this is something that sometimes we just go about doing things mindlessly, aimlessly, feeling that we have a target that we need to achieve, but as soon as we achieve that, we feel a sense of emptiness, or sometimes we don't feel that motivated to go towards those targets. And that's why having a fundamental meaning in life is important, and I will explain how one can get there in the subsequent points. So next is having a sense of meaning in what you're doing. What is it that makes you want to do what you're doing? Why even bother to show up to this work, to this project, to anything that you're doing? Maybe you're taking care of a loved one or holding space for someone, and there has to be a meaning for it. So either one is not aware of that meaning, or one seriously lacks a personal kind of connection to doing that, which causes this sort of rift, this sort of divide between what supposedly I should be doing and feeling a lack of connection from it. For example, a mother looking after her child or serving her child in the best way. That is so meaningful to the mother, and you would never hear a mother complain that, I'm sick and tired of doing this. It comes naturally and it feels so meaningful. Similarly, if you take a work setting, maybe you are not motivated by the job itself, but maybe it is leading up to something which is meaningful to you. Maybe you really want to have that house or a different standard of life, or you want to grow in your profession, or you want to learn certain skills which is going to help you in other areas. For example, I was working in a job whereas I knew that I want to be a life coach, I want to be a motivation speaker, but doing the job that I was doing and empowering people over there helped me achieve what I eventually wanted to do after the job. So having a strong sense of meaning as to why you're actually doing what you're doing is going to help you stay motivated. It reminds me of the quote by Viktor Frankl: one can find any how of doing things so long as there is a clear why. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper into the self. One of the reasons why you might be feeling unmotivated is just a lack of authenticity. What does it mean to be authentic? It means to be in alignment with ourselves, to listen to your heart and do what really feels right inside. I feel that it is a basic service to ourselves to be true to ourselves, to not lie to ourselves. And sometimes in some settings, maybe the work itself is very meaningful to you, but certain relationships are not. Maybe there are situations where you want to say no, but actually you're saying yes, and you are actually violating yourself through that. And this builds up inside you. It builds up a sense of resistance, of resentment, and ultimately a lack of motivation to even show up to that work setting or that relationship. So I want you to go deeper and reflect and ask yourself, what are the ways in which I can be more authentic? What are the ways in which I am denying myself what I really feel inside? And so long as one is able to clear out this dissonance between our internal reality and outer reality, then life becomes so much more meaningful and so much more worth showing up to and doing our best for. Which brings me to having a strong and healthy self-connection, listening to yourself, knowing yourself deeply. And once you know who you really are, that no matter what happens, your core cannot be shaken. You will be fearless, and there will be nothing which is stopping you from doing what you really want. And you can then focus on creating things, focus on your sense of joy, rather than focusing on fear or losing out on something and those kind of things. And so I want to suggest you a different way of going about things and focusing your attention to love, to freedom, to joy, and move towards the things or towards the way of being, the way of thinking that takes you closer to that sense of joy and love, rather than trying to avoid things which give you pain or being in this state of scarcity. Try it out, it might really work for you. Now I want to tell you a little bit about myself, how I was able to find my motivation back. I was living in a place that I didn't want to live in, that I was lying to myself, justifying to myself why it is worth being in this place, which is supposedly the right thing to do, but that did not feel right for me inside. And so I had to ultimately listen to my heart and move to the place that really felt like home, that I could feel myself at. Similarly, at a work setting, I followed a career path which I was skilled at, gifted at, and which seemed to be the best in a monetary sense, but it didn't make meaning to me fundamentally. And then just making that shift over time, going through these struggles, going through this sense of being torn apart between the mind and the heart, and ultimately choosing what really felt right from the inside, which then builds up that self-connection, that trust in myself. And as a result, I got more and more motivated. I used to struggle, really struggle to wake up in the morning. I'm now able to wake up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., go throughout the day, work effortlessly. It's already to do with a strong sense of who I am, why I'm living life, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and the energy and passion just comes naturally from that. I hope you found this video informative. What new did you learn from this? Leave a comment. Anything else that I missed out that has personally worked for you, let me know, and make sure to subscribe to the channels because I want to see you in the next video. Bye for now.